Okay, so now we're going to start working on the leg. And when I do the pad of the foot on the bottom, I usually do it in a different color because it kind of sets off the primary color that we've been using. So I usually, if it's somebody I know, I ask them for 2 colors, what they want. And this little 7-year-old little girl with a broken arm had wanted pink and purple. So we're going to make the pads of the feet pink. And for that, I'm going to use this Karen Simply Soft Party Yarn because it's got some sparkle to it, and sparkles are fun. I always use or try to use the 4-ply yarn, and you'll see on the label that you'll see a little 4 over here. That's a nice thickness for the bears because when we start stuffing these bears, we want a little bit of rigidity to them. So there's this happens to be an acrylic with metallic polyester blend. I don't recommend that anybody ever wash these bears. I don't know how they hold up in the wash. I really don't want to find out just because we're working with yarn and it's really not meant for that. So if anybody wants to wipe off their bear, probably a damp cloth would be the best course of action for it. So with no further ado, we're going to start with the pink yarn. We get 2 skeins of it. These happen to be 3 ounces each. You can find these at a lot of different craft stores. So let's get started with that. I've got 2 skeins of the pink to start with. And I have a little case over on the side. So with this, again, I'm going to do my slip stitch and the 2 strands together, or slip knot, and make my little slip knot. So this stitch is a little different because we're making the pad of the foot. And you start out with actually 6 chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 chain. Now I'm going to start in the second one from the hook, and I'm going to put 3 single crochet in that second stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do in the next 3 chain, I'm going to do 3 single stitches. 1, 2, 3. Now you'll notice that there's only actually 1 real stitch left, and in this last stitch I want to put 3 single crochet. 1, I'm going to get the tail out of the way, 2, 3. Now that actually makes that curve that you want it to make, and you're going to go literally in the back side of the same stitches that you were just working in, and you're going to put 3 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So you're looking for 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that actually brings you right to the beginning. Now I'm going to take my marker yarn and I'm going to stick it in there for row number 2. Now row number 2, you put 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1, 2, and thank you Scooty for narrating here. 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next, 2 in the next stitch. Okay, so that's your corner. And then you're going to do 3 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to do the same thing on this end that you did the last, which is 2 single crochets in this stitch, because you're rounding your curve. 1 single crochet here, and then 2 here, which then will leave 3, which will be evenly spread out. So 3 single crochet, 2, 1, 2, 3 single crochet, 2, 1, 2, so that all the way around it is not lopsided. It's the same. So in the next row, which is row number 3, it's a matter of 2 single crochet in the first stitch and 1 single crochet in the next, and we're just going to repeat that all the way around. 2 single crochet in this stitch, 1 single crochet in this one, and I'm going to go all the way around. So that, and make sure you get both strands, it's evenly done. 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Now it's always important to count your stitches, because before you start getting into a mistake and then having to rip it all out, you want to make sure that your count is right. So in the leg, this should be 24 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yay, we made it all the way around correctly. So in the next row, which is row number 4, it's going to be 2 single crochets, then 1 in the next stitch, and 1 in the next. So it's 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, all the way around. And I'm just going to finish this row, and I'm going to stop this video here. This will actually get you 32 stitches on row number 4. All right, so row number 4 is completed. We've got our 32 stitches. We're going to go into row 5, which is 2 single crochets in the first stitch. Sorry about that. And then it is 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches, repeated all the way around. So again, it's 2, and then 3 single crochets in the next 3 stitches, and again 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and 3 in the next corresponding 3 stitches all the way around. This will equal out to 40 stitches. And because I know this gets monotonous to watch, I'm going to stop this video here, and we'll start back up when I finish the row. Okay, so this is actually the completion of row number 5, and there should be 40 stitches in there. And that was 2 single crochet followed by 2 single crochet in the first stitch, 3 single crochet in the next 3 individual stitches. So now we're going to change this up just a little bit. I'm going to put my marker over because we're going to change colors here. And what I like to do with this part of it is I'm going to use a little bit bigger hook. This is actually an eye hook because I'm going to be doing slip stitches all the way around. And I want to change my color, but I don't want it to look real obvious, even though it is obvious because it's a whole different color. I want to kind of make it look as best I can to blend in with its row. So I bring it through the last stitch of the previous stitch, okay? And then on this next row, what I'm going to do is, I don't want this too tight, so that's why I use the bigger crochet hook. But this, a slip stitch, is slipping it through all the stitches. And because of what I'm doing, I'm actually going only in the front loops, not in the back loops, but just the front loops of these stitches, because my next row is actually going to go in those back loops. So this is going to be 40 slip stitches all the way around using my eye hook, just so that I have space to work with. It makes it so that, because slip stitches can be kind of tight, And I don't like fighting the stitch. I like it kind of smooth and easy to work with. So we work all the way around. And I'm just going to finish this row. I'm going to stop this video here so I'm not too monotonous for you. And then I will catch up with you when I'm completed. So again, just to reiterate what this is, you're working through the front loops of these stitches, which is this part of the loop right here, not the back side of the loop. I'm going to cover up the back side so that you see what I mean. And we're coming around to the last few stitches, and I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going in this way so that you can see it's just the front part of those loops. All right. So then we get to the next row. We're going to flip our yarn back over here. We're going back to the single chain, but we're going to go in the back loops of this stitch, which is the back side of that loop. Back part of that loop. It's the back part of that loop. We're only going to do that one time around because it actually helps form the foot a little bit better. It gives a little bit more shape to the foot, so it's not as rounded. There's a little bit more of an edge to the foot. When you're crocheting, a lot of things are rounded. This gives it just a little bit more of a sharper edge when you're stuffing it. So we just go around, and again, so that we're not making this too monotonous for you, I'm going to stop this here and meet you around. I'm still using the I hook. It's just easier for this row. I'm going to go back to the G hook in a little bit. All right, so we finished actually that row, which was actually row number 7. And if you've noticed, I've switched back to the G hook because now we're back to the normal stitches that are easier. And I just want to point out that now the way that we did that was on purpose to kind of make the pink make it look a little like it's underlaying the purple. Okay, so the next 3 rows, and these are all at 40 stitches, are just single chains all the way around. So again, I'm just going to buzz right through these and get to the last part of this 3 rows so that I can show you the next part. So I'm going to stop this here, and I'll meet you after 3 more rows on row number 11. So we just finished rows 8 through 10, and as you notice, the foot is actually starting to curl up. We want to curl it the other way. The other thing I want to do, because I didn't do it yet, is I want to cut this pink string out of here, or the pink yarn I should say, and I want to tie it. I want to secure it. So I'm going to take the pink with the purple here, and I'm going to pull it just a little tight, not too tight. And I usually tie it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I just kind of cut these. I do leave a tail. I don't know, I'm kind of funny that way. I like to leave a tail in case something starts to unravel. I got a little something to work with. So on this next row, we're going to flip over our marker again, because we always need a marker. And we're going to do a single chain decrease, which is you go in the first stitch and you go in the second stitch. You've got all 3 stitches on your hook from the last to these 2 that you're going to put together. You put the yarn over the hook and you pull it through. And then I'm going to do 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to work the row around just like that. 1 single chain decrease. 3 stitches on my hook. Pull it through, all of them. And then 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to keep working right around the row doing that same pattern. And so that you don't have to keep watching this, I'm going to stop the video here and I'm going to pick up at the next row. So as you can see, the foot is actually starting to take shape like we want. So the next row is actually row number 12, and this is a little bit different because it's not going to be symmetrical. It's going to make the front part come in, and it's going to make the back part straight. And what that looks like is this. We're going to do single crochet decrease in the first stitch. We're going to do 2 single crochets. We're going to do that a total of 4 times. We're going to repeat this single crochet decrease and 2 single chains 4 segments. So there's the first one, single crochet decrease, 1, 2, single crochet decrease, 1, 2, single crochet decrease, 1, 2, and then what we're going to do is we're going to do 16 single crochets around the remainder part of the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that actually brings us to row number 13, and we're going to keep making that front part of the foot curved in and the back part straight. So we're going to do another single crochet decrease, which is the 3 stitches on the hook together, and we're going to do 1 single crochet. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to repeat that segment 4 times. Single crochet decrease, 1 single crochet decrease, 1 single crochet. So if I ever lose track, I count. There's 1 segment, there's 2 segments, there's 3 segments, and there's 4 segments all together. So then I want to do 16 single crochet, and that should bring me right around to the end of the row. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so as you can see from the top down, it's actually starting to curve here, and it's straight, you know, rounded here. Okay, this is curving in, that's straight, and that's what it looks like. So now we're going to do that one more time. This time we're going to do 4 single crochet decreases right in a row. 1, 2, and just make sure that this stitch right here is kind of tight, because sometimes if that's a little loose, you really should go back and tighten it up a little bit on your hook. 1, 2, because when you start stuffing these, that's going to make a difference. So make that tight. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. There's 3, 4. Okay, and just count again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then there should be 16 single crochet around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so the next row we're actually going to even it out a little bit, and we're gonna scoop it in a little bit. So this row is a single chain decrease. We are actually on row number 15. Okay, so at row 15, we're doing a single crochet decrease in the first 2 stitches together, and then 3 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, and we're going to work that right around the remainder of the foot. So single crochet decrease, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, all the way around. Single crochet decrease, 1, 2, 3, single crochet decrease, 1, 2, 3. So now we are at row 16. So at row 16 through row 21, we are going to just do single chains right around. This is actually building the leg of the foot. So here's row 16. I'm just going to start out, and then I'm going to cut this video so that we'll go all the way to the end so that you can see what row 21 looks like when we've got that part completed. All right, so I'll see you in another minute or less. Now I'm going to mention right here I'm actually at row 17 because I just single crocheted around, that some people actually stuff the foot so that it's more evenly dispersed. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm actually not going to do it this time just because. But I'm just going to work my way around from 17 to 21, and then I'll stuff the foot at the end. So I'll be back in just a second. So one of the nice things about doing the bears is you can do them in segments. You can put them down and you can come back to them and do a head, you can do a body, you can do a leg. And it really doesn't require a lot of time. But one of the things I wanted to point out that's a little bit of a cheat, if you have to put this leg down and you're in the middle of it and you don't know where you left off, and you need to have rows 16 through 21 that are just single chains around. I always know that those rows are single chains around. So I'm looking at my marker and I'm looking for the row that is just above the single chain decrease, so I know where I left off. So here's row 16, here's row 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So if ever I'm like at 18 or 19 and I have to put it down and then I come back to it, when I come back, I know because this is row 15. I'm on 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, so now we're on row 22. 22 through 24 are the same type of thing. They're actually what we call a single chain increase on the first stitch, which is just, all that is 2 single crochets in the first stitch, and then it's a single chain all the way around. And all that does is give the leg a little bit of a wider base to it, so that when you're sewing this onto the bear, you've got a little bit more of a platform. It looks kind of cute because his legs are actually a little wider at the base of his leg. So I work my way around. This is row 21. Okay, and then I'm going to flip my strand over. Row 22, I'm going to do the same thing. 2 single crochet in the first stitch. I'm sorry, I think that's 23. Last one was 22. And we're going to work our way around. I'm going to pause this so that you don't have to watch me doing this. Okay, so here we are actually at the end of row 24. 22, 23, and 24 all had a single chain increase in the first stitch, which meant 2 stitches in the first stitch. So that when you flatten this down, it actually has a little bit more of a bell shape to it, so that when you go to sew this on your bear, it's a little bit easier because I pin them in place first, and it's so much easier to kind of pin it down to the bear with a little bit wider at that part. So now we're at the point where we put in a slip stitch, And we're going to cut that. I'm going to pull out my marker yarn. And I just tighten that down. And I'm going to weave this through the stitch ahead of it. And then back to where this stitch is, it's kind of going to hide it. And then back here, I want to weave this through some of the stitches in the leg, and I'm just going to work my way down the leg to hide the extra yarn. Because I just don't like cutting little tails and leaving them. Not if I don't have to. And I do just at least 3, sometimes 4 rows down in. So there's your foot. Let's get that out of there. So now you have your head, your body, and one foot. Okay, so you can kind of get an idea a little bit of what this is starting to look like before we put it together. Okay, and you're going to make the second foot just like you did the first one. And then we're going to move on to the arm, okay? And then after we get all these pieces put crochet, then I'm going to show you how to put, obviously, the bear together, okay? So that's what you've got so far. And I'll be back in a little bit just to do an arm with you.